Right, welcome to today's video where we're going to be going over 5 of the rounds from the Dignitas Liquid Nuke game. So, this game was an absolute thrashing, right? It was a 16-1 ending to the Dignitas side. And one of the main things was actually looking at the stats behind it. We saw that Liquid had 8 opening kills and they only converted on 1 of them, which is just a sign of disaster, if I'm perfectly honest. And then also, we actually did a few rounds where they got the opening kill and they probably should have converted, right? So I'm just going to go ahead and pause this round as soon as Fallen gets in towards the secret area there. And here we go, right. So let's consider the map right now. So Fallen has the outside area covered, Analysed is covering the floor, Stewie's next to main, we've got Grim towards upper, and then ramp is covered by Naf. So a nice and simple setup really, like nothing too crazy, you don't have to do anything too wild on the CT side either. So let's actually play this one through as well, and then we'll see how this one goes from this point. So we're going to start off with the 3 smokes going along right here, and it's actually going to be a case where there's a big gap. I believe this is due to one of the smokes missing, and then we're going to see Lecro get killed by Fallen. Okay. So some smokes coming in, flash coming in. This is clearly a setup for them to do a bit of a B split. You can see the 3 players gather towards ramp. But the main thing for me is Analysed gets contact on Freiburg as well. Freiburg gets seen by Analysed. He dinks him, in fact. Fallen gets a kill. So you're basically operating at a round where you are effectively 3v5 on the Dignitas side. You've got a player with, like, what, less than 10 health outside. He shouldn't be able to get anything done, really. But for some reason, he's able to get space and kill Stewie, right? So Fallen's going to get this kill towards the T-red area. The Molotov goes down the stairs. Fallen isn't interrupted by this. I'm going to go to Analysed because he's going to get contact from Freiburg as well. There's the dink. Fallen then peeks out. Due to that contact, Lecro advances as well. So this round, I'm going to pause it here as well. So we now have that situation. 1 HP on Freiburg. 1 HP. Analysed then moves into lockers. Naf is going to be caught out and he'll drop down the ramp. But I'm going to go on to Stewie because he's kind of the curious one in this because he gets caught out by Freiburg here. And I can only assume this is due to timing rather than anything else because he does check it. Oh, and it is literally just as he turns. So we pause it again. Analysed got killed at ramp. They go down towards lower. Naf is on his own already. Fallen is down here too. But instead of actually deciding to go straight into the stack, we're actually going to let this one play out right here. So I'm going to stick with Forest, because he's actually going to be the winner of this round. He gets a 1v2 victory. And it's worth noting, Grim makes a really good play here. He goes for a bit of a slight info play, not too deep though, because he doesn't want to risk getting caught out on the way there. And he will do pretty well. Like it's kind of difficult to gauge like how well should you really do when they actually do clear this properly. Like your best bet is basically a 1-for-1. And then we have Fallen in a 1v2. And he knows one player's outside and the other player they pushed off the ramp. So most 2v2 circumstances of the CT, you tend to try and go together just so you can trade quite efficiently off of each other, right? So we're going to see how this one plays out here. I'm going to decide to get a bit higher up. So we've got Naf coming from ladder, and Fallen is still in lobby. So Naf's already got into heaven here as well. So this situation should be a pretty easy trade situation, right? But for some reason, Forest is able to get a single 1v1 after making noise, and then Naf is unable to get the trade. Barely any damage even. And with 10 seconds left, he actually decides I'll stick it immediately, and Forest checks it and gets an easy round. So following in with the next round in the video will be round 5, so straight after that previous one, and this is actually going to be showing how this is such a nicely controlled anti-eco by them, so I'm just going to stick it on Freiburg because he's got the Mach 10. And this is basically how an ideal anti-eco goes, right? Like, so dream scenario, basically, where you're able to use the Mach 10 to feel out the map, as it were. Like, that's what we usually call it. Like, you're feeling out the map, trying to identify where are the enemies, that sort of thing. And then also identifying, is there a stack anywhere? You let the Mach 10 do all of the work with actually getting control of the areas. The Deagles will probably fall back because they don't want to challenge it too much. So they get ramp for free, basically, like no damage like on the actual players who did go towards ramp. And then Heap taking 36, that's not really an issue. And then they're going to decide to go down towards the lower bomb site where there is a player down here. Like, Naf is down here, but this is an easy kill. Like, Heap gets the kill without dropping, and then there also will be slow rotates across the board. But look at the utility usage. Somebody smokes window side, somebody smokes this window doors, the decon gets smoke, everything is covered. And from this point, it's basically just replant the bomb, watch the smokes, And that's round done. Like that's such a good anti-eco. Like basically dream circumstances. And the other thing like I'm gonna add as well is I mentioned the 5v4 win percentage in the previous round. And that was for the CT side for Liquid as well. So it's 1 of 8 in the CT side where they got the opening kill, and then 0-7 when they lose the opening kill. So obviously tragic numbers. So if you compare it to the overall like map, or yeah, the overall map, it's actually 3 wins from 10 for Liquid. So they go 2 for 2 on their T side when they get the opening kill, which there's not much to take from that information, obviously. So we'll go straight into this next one as well. So I'm going to jump on Fallen, because he's got the AWP, of course, and then he's going to get another opener outside. This is the story, basically, of this map. If you actually did watch through it or anything like that, you just see, oh, Liquid have an advantage. They don't anymore. Like, it's very much, they get a kill, and then they get nothing done from that. So Lekro once more, he gets spotted outside, and that's an easy kill for Fallen, right? Really easy, straight up. But we're going to witness the A defense kind of get caught sleeping, to be honest. Like, I don't think there's a better explanation for this. Like, you can see here, they're already walking out. And if you think about it, you've got Elysian the vents. Stewie is going on top of her. Grim is towards the silos area. And then Fallen was outside with Naf and Ramp. So you do have really 3 players towards A, and then a quick rotate in the form of Fallen, or even Naf. Like, there's not that much of a difference, like 5-10 seconds. Which is pretty quick. So we're going to watch Stewie. I'm going to turn X-ray on as well, so you can see what's happening here. So they re-smoke it, but unfortunately they're not checking if there was already somebody beyond that smoke. Heap is way out, and he's actually going to get a free kill onto Grim right now, because Grim is not aware, really. He's checking it every few seconds or so, but he's not really aware that there could be somebody already this far out, because like they're re-smoking it, Stewie doesn't check it, and then it's a free kill. Stewie will get 1 back, but Forrest is already in hurt for his drop-off. And again, this is basically round over. Fallen tried to peek nest, the no-scope into Elysian who tried to rotate up the vent. Like, that's a disaster. You're 4v5 right now, and you're not really being aware that they could be out squeaky, they can be out, like, wherever. You need to be playing in a setup together, not, I'm playing on top of her watching main, I've not got your squeaky. Like, Grim shouldn't be playing that far out then, like, he should be doing something a bit further back, or just not what he did, I guess, is the main thing. And I guess that's literally, like, some people did say Liquid looked like they were a bit, not asleep, but they didn't look like they were fully there. And I really agree with that, because some of these rounds are not abysmal, but they're definitely rounds that you should be taking, potentially without any issues, really, as well. So, consider now that Fallen is saving this up, right? So let's keep an eye on the overview here. So second round it was 4 alive still, and then 4, 1, 5, 3. So the T economy, fantastic. CT economy, you're full loss bonus, so you can bring a pistol armor around the AWP. On the T side perspective, you're thinking, okay, full loss bonus, it should be pistols. But on Nuke, you can very easily get away with a buy if you already have that AWP. So you have to be kind of cautious, but also aware that the AWP might try and make a play, right? That's something that some AWPers do. Fallen's got an opening kill quite often during this map as well. Like, he got the one towards Secret, he got one from Garage towards the boxes towards the opening of outside here. So I'm going to keep an eye on Fallen. So he goes for this peek towards Squeaky. And obviously you make a lot of noise when you open that door. Heap sees the door is open, and that's kind of enough information. He doesn't need to do anything else. Quite an experienced decision. He sees the door open, pulls back, goes on top of roof, and decides, okay, they might crunch lobby. I'm not going to give them a kill. Fallen gets given nothing. Like, this is very good so far from them. I'm going to go ahead and pause it here. So because of Fallen going towards the Squeaky pick, there's now a gap where he's not covered this entire area, like on the map here, right? He's not covered this area. Elysia's in Secret, so he can kind of check for headshots here, and then towards Silo eventually. But I don't think he got tagged earlier on, and then the Molotov actually flying in as well at the same time pushes him away. But there's a sound cue, which is kind of key here. So I'm going to go ahead and play this one in slow-mo. Fallen shoots. Freiburg hears that. Freiburg calls, I need a flashbang. Somebody flashed over red. Fallen's trying to run away. He gets caught out. Easy kill. And this kind of got a bit spooky for a second. Like, they've done so well in this round, Dignitas, to isolate the AWP and also get it without any casualties. So that's really, really good. But then they kind of zone in a bit too much, like, okay, the gun is dead, and then they kind of charge forward, and I'm not a fan of it in the way they do it. So Naf gets contact toward lockers, does good damage both ways. Elige then arrives to back him up, and Forrest and Freiberg are gonna... I'll be honest, they zone in a bit too much on this one kill that they were looked for originally here. Like, they tried far too hard for it, when they didn't really need to. So it's going to be a 2-for-1 in favour of Liquid on this little exchange here. Because Elige is in a very good position to be able to actually help on the angle. And he gets the gun. So you're now in a 3v3 where there's still a UMP on Stewie, they don't know about this. You have Grim in lobby because you've lost control of that area. But then Elige is going to aggress outside because he feels like they need more information instead of actually just gambling on a stack, which honestly right now, that is the meta. You gamble on stacks quite often in the game. Holzek sees him, gets a free kill. They are then going to go towards the upper bomb site. Stewie's in towards the site. Grim is in Squeaky. This is a pretty good setup for contact from either player. But unfortunately, it's not quite going to work out. Like, this is... Grim gets the tag. Stewie faces, gets that kill, but Heap is already ready to trade. They know the player's on A. And Stewie, even though he does damage, Heap takes him down. And that's 7-0 for Dignitas now. And honestly, the last 3 rounds I showed, other than the anti-eco, they were very, very winnable. Like, they weren't exactly crazy situations either. So this is going to be the last round I'm going to show here, where this is a really awkward round, because we're going to see that same setup from Liquid, right? So one where Stewie's on top of the hut, and Grim is towards the silo area. And then we're also going to see Dignitas do that same play out of Squeaky, but they're going to decide after 30 seconds in the round that they're going to dive down the vent. So I'm going to keep X-Ray on, and we'll actually go to Stewie as well for this one, because he's the kind of the key. Because he gets a kill, but he gets traded, and they then end up diving. Because this is a really early round play. Like, he sees the one person in the smoke, he gets the one kill. Kind of unlucky to not get the second. But you'll see now, they pull back. They make the sound cues of pulling back. But then they call quite clearly, let's actually just vent dive. So, when you consider the Liquid defense, right, so I'm going to pause it right now. Elige is in lower. He's going towards the secret area. Fallen is outside, so he can cover that there's nobody going down secret behind Elige, although Lekwer is here, getting ready to do that exact play. I think Elige probably could have won this round, if not for a very unfortunate situation, which we're going to show. I'm just going to keep on Elige. So he actually hears them going down the vent. He peeks out, thinks he's killed Forrest, and that delays him quite a bit. Because Naf ends up falling towards ramp. He kills him, he wide swings, he gets taken down. Like, Heap does very well to get that shot down. I'll be honest, he does very well. Fallen then tries to overcompensate to try and get a play done, sits in the Molotov, dies, and Grim, not much he can do. But that was honestly the story of this map, where Liquid would get themselves an opening kill, they wouldn't be able to capitalise on that. And that's kind of Counter-Strike in itself, right? You need to be able to capitalise on those opening kills, you need to make sure you convert them as well. Just because you get an opening kill doesn't mean the round is over. Like, that just increases your chance to win from... I don't know, if you were to base it as a 5v5 gun round on every map, I think you'd probably have like a 55-45 maximum split. Depending on the map, obviously, like Nuke CT side, you probably would favour it a bit higher, for example. But you get an opening kill, it probably goes up to about 75%, which is a hell of a lot of difference. But if you then get it's like 3v5, you're definitely looking at more like a 96-97% win ratio, because that's way better. Like, why don't you just try and hold the ground? You've got a high chance of winning. High percentage CS is the way forward. But unfortunately, some teams are struggling to execute it. So that's going to be it from this one. 5 rounds from the Dignitas Liquid game. I'm going to be doing something similar for a lot of matches like this. If you have any suggestions on what game you'd like to have a look at a bit more in depth, see what happened to cause situations, why decisions went the way they did, feel free to comment below, and thank you for watching.